Hey, it's Vanezia Hamilton, and I'm coming to you with a podcast today because I want to make a video. I want to put out content and give a life update, but I just don't feel like getting on camera, and my phone is so full that I really can't even film to save my life. Like, I would have to take off like all my fun apps like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube just to be able to film a video for YouTube and then turn around and put it on YouTube after I sign into my account again. Anyways, so today is May 4th, 2024. May the 4th be with you. And today I just wanted to give a brief update on where I've been and what I've been up to. So, first things first, I'm alive and well. I was dealing with some like household issues at the beginning of the year. Still really dealing with it if you're technical, and I won't be done dealing with it until at least October. I'll say November 1st, at least. So I won't really speak too much on that because it's kind of like legal matters involved. Just know in so many words, I am dealing with a toxic situation at home and I had to get out of it, or I need to get out of it ASAP, right? And then, second, financials. So I now have gainful employment once again, and that's fun. I even have a second job. So I've been learning, for my first job, I've been learning about insurance, and I'm going to see where that road takes me. And when I say fun, I'm kind of being sarcastic. Let's be real. It's not really fun talking on the phones. It's not really fun having to learn a whole new skill set on top of the stuff that I like to learn on the outside of work. I feel like I'm over here getting a PhD with the amount of studying that I'm having to do. Okay. So work, gainfully employed, and then so if you go back on my channel and you see my video where I'm outside and it's a snow day, that was about like January 27th when I posted it. But the video was filmed at the beginning of January. And on that day, that was a very interesting day for me because when I woke up, I had a text from Chase Bank. And Chase was like, "Hey, we need you to call us." And based on what was in the text, I looked it up on Reddit. Like, I just Googled it, and people on Reddit were saying what the message meant. And they were like, "You have to contact Chase because if you don't, they'll close your account." Basically, Chase peers into your consumer credit report periodically to see what you have going on. This is regardless of if you have a card on the Chase business side or the Chase personal credit card side. They're always looking, they're always watching to see what you're doing and pretty much to gauge your credit worthiness. So I have a Chase credit card that's a business one, and I have another one that's personal. And I get on the phone with Chase, and they're like, "We see you got a lot going on here on your credit report. We see you have about $60,000 in student loans. We also see that you have a $6,000 Capital One card, $6,000 authorized user card, and then you have a $1,000 Chase personal card, and that card is maxed. And then we see that your Chase business card amount, your balance keeps going up, and you're only paying the minimum. So what's going on? What's going on?" And I explain this, that, and the third. And thankfully, they didn't close my Chase accounts. They simply lowered the limit on my business card. And it really did hurt my ego, like bruise my ego, because that was a nice like amount. I never ever intended on getting up to that amount that they provided on that card, because it was like $32,000. Like, if I'm spending $32,000 on a business card, it's because I have the revenue to keep up with it. So I had no intention of getting that high, one, but two, it's like it just kind of burst my bubble. And like I said, I would only get to 32K if I had the revenue for that amount. So let me not say I had no intention. I would love to be doing my business thing and just running it up, running the money through the card the way it's meant to be. But ultimately, they were like, look, you're risky. So we're going to pretty much reduce how much risk you can have with us as a bank. Okay, took that L. And they dropped the limit on that card down to about 11K. Okay, fine. So then on my personal side, what I did over the last few months from the time that I had that phone call, I went ahead and paid off my Chase personal card in full. I paid off my Capital One card in full. And I also asked to be removed from that authorized user card. And I had forgotten all about that until Chase told me about it. The guy was like, do you know anything about this card? You've been on this account since 2007. And I'm like, oh my God, 2007? Is somebody doing fraud on my name, on my social, No, I just blanked. I don't think about it. And you never think about the fact that if you're an authorized user on somebody's card, their habits affect you. And Chase pretty much told me, they were like, all the things that we see on your account, out of everything that's really bothering us, that authorized user maxed out card is really the kicker. And I'm just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, authorized user, that's not even my card per se, right? In the credit world, we just get on somebody else's card for the credit age. We're not really going for the ability to swipe the card. I don't even have the damn card. I called up the person. I was like, hey, I need to get off this card, pretty please. And then when I got my settlement check back in March, that's when I was able to pay off my Capital One card. And then thanks to working, I've been able to pay off the Chase personal card. So now all I need to do is pay down the Chase business card. And then I'll be credit card debt free across the board. I'm technically 100% credit card debt free on my personal side, under my SSN. I can say I do not have credit card debt. All of my credit cards are paid, whether it's an Apple card, Bank of America card, Chase, Capital One. All of those are paid on my end. But now I got to handle my business card and my student loans. I'm technically halfway done with student loan forgiveness. Actually, a little bit more than halfway. So the unfortunate part about the student loan forgiveness program is the fact that even if you're halfway done or 90% of the way done with the program and making those 120 qualifying payments, it doesn't report to the credit bureaus. So you literally just look like you have debt sitting on your credit profile for years and years that you're not working towards, that you're not paying down or paying off, but it doesn't report. So it's kind of frustrating to me because I know what I'm doing on the back end to get things taken care of, get things paid off, and working my butt off. And it's just, there's no validation for it. There's no trophy for it. There's no glory till you get all the way to the end, pretty much. I paid off about 7K in personal debt, and then I I got rid of the 6K in for the authorized user. So that's $13,000 off of my consumer credit report right there. And I expected the sun to shine brighter when I got to the end of the tunnel, but it doesn't seem like I say that and the sun comes out right there. So I guess I have to say that now that I've paid off so much debt, the sun is brighter and life is looking up again because the sun literally started shining because I've had my lips fixed to say, it doesn't seem like the sun is shining brighter. And I'm sitting here looking out the window and it was cloudy all day. And so my plan for getting my business credit card debt paid off is of course working. But I don't want to just work my life away. I want to work smarter. I'm learning some new things that can help propel me and my business to success. So I'm really excited to see how that goes because those were I'm really jumping into new water. I have also relisted all my products again. So I'm actively selling online again, like Walmart Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, wherever I can make some coins, that's where I'm at. Because for a while I stopped drop shipping consistently. So I plan on getting a new credit card like with a 0% APR. That way I can do a balance transfer and pretty much quell the fire that is going to start eating me up in interest. Because my Chase business card, the interest starts to accrue on May 10th, 2024. So I know that I'm really close to that window of time where you need to get a balance transfer, but I have to be strategic because when you apply for a business credit card and they look at your personal credit, you don't want to have too much stuff on your personal credit because that will affect your credit worthiness for your business. So I have to wait until my credit report shows that my personal credit is in good standing again until I'm looking good on paper, right? So right now, my credit score is about 743. I just checked it before I started this podcast. And but the thing is, when you look at my report, it's still showing that I have those cards that are not paid, like that Capital One card is still showing the balance. It needs to be zero. It hasn't reported yet. It has to report to the credit bureaus for it to reflect. So yeah, I'm running low on time. Like I literally have 6 days, but I have to move strategically and not rush. So that's my plan. Like working to get that debt paid off. I'm back to selling physical products. I've started learning about digital products, started learning about a new avenue that I'll talk about later once I get to where I want to go with that. But I'm excited. I'm glad that I have paid off so much debt. It's a blessing and an honor and a privilege for banks to trust you with their money and be able to pay them back. I know there are ways in the consumer law world where you can get out of debt. I know there are ways that a business can get out of debt, but it feels good to be able to pay it back the normal way. I won't say the right way, I'll say the normal way of paying the debt back. And it feels good to be able to put yourself in a position where you can succeed again when you literally had a really rough or shitty 2023. I got hurt at the beginning of the year. I had to start doing a lot of therapy, physical therapy. I ran up a lot of medical debt and I already wasn't working. I was living on savings. I kept my expenses low for myself because I know I'm living on savings. But when you get hurt and you're forced to have to go to the doctor, get x-rays, get an MRI, go to physical therapy, get Ubers to the places that you need to go, or, pay people to pick you up, drop you off, it's like all that stuff gets expensive. But thankfully I won that case and I'm on my way. Like I recently wrote my business a check so that my business can start getting some things paid off. And it just feels good to be where I'm at. Like it's bittersweet. That's what I'll say. So that's the life update. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, and before I go, one of the things that I have been doing to help me learn about credit and debt and things of that nature, like I typically listen to people like Shonda Martin for sure. And I've started to listen to Christy Vaughn. So the main thing that I learned from her was how to calculate the daily interest rate on a credit card. So say, for instance, you have a credit card that has a $1,000 balance, right? And that credit card has an 18% interest rate. So you would take that $1,000 times 0.18 to give you 18%. That's going to give you 180. Then you take 180 divided by 365. That's going to give you 0.49. Might as well say 50 cents. So that's how much you would be accruing in interest by the day on that particular card if you didn't pay it all the way off. So you have to understand that credit cards accrue interest. Loans in general accrue interest by the day. But it's nice to know how much. You can look at it on paper and be like, oh, this card is 34%. This card is 18%. This card is 24%. But what is that by the day and how much? You also have to know your balances. So what I did to get to this point and get to this understanding that I had to make a spreadsheet with my card names. I put the statement date, the credit card due date, the amount as well as the minimum payment with the interest, and then the steps that I was going to take to get to where I needed to be. Also, and then I have a little tab for my plans on pretty much the steps to take. And then the plan tells you, okay, do this, this, and that. You really have to get strategic with it. It's not just a fly by the seat of your pants. And I know some people would say, well, if you have a card that has a $10,000 balance on it, why not just wait, save up to $10,000 and pay the card off in full just like that? It actually doesn't work like that when the card has interest, because if you wait and wait and wait, let's just say it took you a year to pay that card off, you're potentially paying hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars in interest, depending on your interest rate. So it makes more sense to pay cards down by the day as soon as possible. Like you get paid, you throw in as much money at it as you can. And that's what I've been doing. Like it feels like when I go to work for nothing. It feels like I make no money. It feels like I wake up and my money is owed to a bank. But we're going to get through this. And if you're going through this, I hope this podcast can give you some motivation and inspiration. If you would like a copy of my spreadsheet that I use to show me my credit card balances, as well as the statement date, due date, minimums, and the amount and the interest, you can check the description box to get the link for the spreadsheet. I hope that this helps you, and I wish you well on your debt repayment journey. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, when the waves of life throw sand at you, make a pearl.